And that decades-long process of an ever closer economic relationship between Canada and the United States is over. And it means that our economic strategy needs to change dramatically and rapidly. The U.S. has changed. That's their right. But we must respond. That is our imperative.
For decades, Canada served as America's quiet economic partner, trading loyalty for stability, access for dependence. But today, that arrangement is collapsing. Standing before Parliament Hill's press corps, Prime Minister Mark Carney declares what many in Washington feared but few in Ottawa dared to say aloud. The era of automatic partnership with the United States is over. The Prime Minister continues, his voice steady but unsparing. Technological change is accelerating rapidly. The world has become more dangerous and divided. The decades-long process of an ever-closer economic relationship between Canada and the United States is over. Behind those words lies a deeper message. Canada will no longer accept being treated as a convenient supplier, a buffer market, or a loyal junior partner. According to the Financial Times, Carney's statement reflects a fundamental reassessment of the North American economic order as U.S. tariffs and trade threats pile up. For much of the post-war era, Canada's prosperity was tied to America's demand. But in 2025, the United States has turned inward, imposing tariffs, questioning alliances, and weaponizing supply chains. What was once a friendship built on trust is now, as one Politico analyst wrote, an exercise in economic control. Carney lays out the numbers plainly. More than 75% of Canadian exports still flow south of the border. 3/4 of our national trade depends on decisions made in Washington, not Ottawa. He warns that what once guaranteed growth has become a trap. Many of our former strengths based on our close ties to America have become our vulnerabilities, and those vulnerabilities are multiplying. U.S. tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, and auto parts have cut into profits and triggered layoffs from Windsor to Vancouver. American media call it policy. Canadians living through it call it betrayal. The relationship that built us is now breaking us, says a former trade advisor quoted by Reuters. Carney's solution is audacious. Above all, we will build Canadian. We will be our own best customer. His new Buy Canadian policy means federal departments will default to domestic suppliers. The message to Washington is unmistakable. Canada will spend at home before buying abroad. No longer, Carney announces, will 70 cents of every dollar of Canadian military spending go to the United States. It's a direct challenge to America's industrial grip, and a warning shot to any multinational assuming Canada's market will remain an extension of theirs. He pairs the announcement with another structural reform, eliminating internal trade barriers within Canada itself. If we can't trade freely inside our own borders, we have no right to call ourselves independent. According to Reuters, this plan could grow GDP by up to 8% by freeing interprovincial commerce. But Carney knows that a rupture, even one rooted in sovereignty, can frighten people. He reassures the public that core programs will remain untouched. This budget takes pragmatic, responsible choices to right-size government, while protecting the essential social programs that every Canadian can rely on, he says. Childcare, dental care, farm care, national school food programs, health and education transfers, all remain protected. He pauses, half smiling, half defiant. We protected it. Did you say thank you? Number, because we could. That was governance choosing. Behind the dry humor is a clear message. Economic independence does not mean social abandonment. Ottawa intends to build resilience without austerity. Then the Prime Minister turns nostalgic, not for the past itself, but for its spirit. When the Second World War ended, Canadians united in a mission to build big things. He lists them like monuments, new neighborhoods for veterans, new universities, the St. Lawrence Seaway, the Trans-Canada Highway, Expo 67, the CN Tower. Each example reinforces the same truth. Canadians once built their destiny with ambition, and now, he says, they will again. We used to explore in this country. We will chart new courses again. We used to build. We will build big, fast and bold. We used to take risks. We will step up to the plate again. The cadence builds, less like a bureaucrat, more like a general. Carney is no longer describing policy, he's rallying a movement. As the applause fades, Carney delivers his closing lines with deliberate calm. "We choose Canada. It's our country. It's your future. We're taking control. Let's do it together." To some, it sounds patriotic. To others, provocative. Either way, it's unmistakable. A declaration of economic independence from America. For a century, Canada's prosperity has been tied to U.S. demand. Now, Ottawa is daring to imagine prosperity built on self-reliance. Economists are divided. Some call it visionary, others call it reckless. Washington, meanwhile, has stayed publicly polite but privately alarmed. According to The Guardian, one senior U.S. official described the plan as a deliberate uncoupling that could destabilize North American trade. But in Ottawa, that reaction may be the point. Carney is not asking for U.S. approval. He's testing Canada's capacity to thrive without it. The speech ends not with policy, but with pride. "We choose Canada," he repeats, "because it's our home, our voice, our responsibility."
It builds Canada strong by focusing on what we can control.
For supporters, it's the sound of a country reclaiming itself. For critics, it's the start of a dangerous experiment. But no one in that chamber mistakes it for business as usual. In the calm that follows, one question lingers. Has Canada finally outgrown America's shadow, or is it stepping into an economic storm of its own making? What's certain is that Carney has rewritten the conversation. The rupture is real. The break has begun.